So basketball is 5v5, and I don't know if South Sudan forgot yesterday or not, but like LeBron is a 1v5 guy, so I don't know. Buenos dias, happy Sunday, TSA Hoops watchers. It is your boy in the sweaty box, JR. Thank you for tuning in this wonderful Sunday from Getting Hot San Diego. We got some stuff to get into today, and it's going to be a jam-packed show because a lot has happened over the last week since our last show, and we got a special guest coming on today, so I appreciate you guys tuning in today. Just don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, make sure that you tune in every Sunday, rewatch this, share it with your friends. Remember, we're part of a network, so if you'd like to come on a show and talk hoops, this is the place to be at TSA Hoops. Again, I am your boy JR at 4F Apollo on the X. So just a quick rundown of last week. I mean, we got a little bit into free agency. We talked about Summer Olympics. We got into that a little bit, but we hadn't gotten the two games that we're going to address today. And we got into some WNBA talk. We hadn't gotten through WNBA All-Star Weekend, which has just completed as of today. So we're going to get into that. And again, let's get into it today. We're going to do a lot more of everything, more Olympics talk, more WNBA, more free agency talk. We just had some re-ups that we got to get into as well. Don't got a lot of time to it, but I do have time to introduce our guest today at Hot Take City 904. It's your boy George. Yo, what's up, homie? Welcome to the stage. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Just chilling at work.
I feel you. I feel you on that, man. Working on a Sunday, never the best, but making money better than spending money, man. So just real quick, when you get a chance, go ahead and talk a little bit about yourself. We'll try to figure out what you're currently getting into. Any quick hot takes at the moment, and if you need to go ahead and get that, man, go ahead and get that, man. It's a free talk show here.
I'm trying to mute it, honestly. There we go. Just getting into sports, man. I'm all about sports and, talking sports. That's one of my biggest things. And, with football season coming up, since basketball season's over, my wife knows she's in for a rude awakening for, at least 3 months. You know what I'm saying? She knows not to bother me during the weekends when the football's on.
Hey. Thursday to Sunday, just straight silence, okay? Thursday to Sunday. You get 3 days, I get 4.
Well, Saturday I get to enjoy it a little bit with her because, we're both Noel fans, so we get to watch the Noels play, on Saturday. So we get to sit down and watch that
together. Hold on, real quick, fam. Let's get it. Let's get it.
So Saturday, we get to enjoy that, especially my son. My son, I just signed him up for tackle football, so he's excited for the football season also. So
that's amazing. That is amazing. Let's see what else we're getting into today. All right, well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. You know what you're doing. You've had the hot takes before. And if you guys don't know, follow your boy George Hot Take City at Hot Take City 904. Let's just go ahead and start it off. So we addressed the WNBA MVP, Rookie of the Year, actually, Rookie of the Year voting last week. Got into a lot of WNBA, and then you had your comments last week. So let's just start off real quick. Reese or Clark right now? Who you got?
Clark.
Okay, give it to me. We've been talking about this. Tell me why, man.
Okay, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think both are doing great for the WNBA. Both have brought a lot of revenue to the WNBA itself. Both have brought a lot of eyes and views to the WNBA. I mean, we're
Facts.
seeing a lot more stars, pop out and watch the games, show up to the games, talk about the games. So honestly, they're both doing great for the WNBA as a whole. But I think Clark puts a bigger impact on her team and the success for her team than Reese does. Reese has a lot of help compared to Clark. Clark is putting up numbers by herself.
Oh, okay, so we don't want to discredit Aaliyah Boston's ability to, I mean, be present down low. I mean, she was the rookie of the year last year for the Fever. Of course, not as successful dumping it inside. And yeah, we can see the success that Caitlin Clark has been having now, being the player with the most assists in the game. She just broke that record last week. But I just gotta say, I've been more of a Reese fan lately, and mainly because I like it, the big men, the big players on the inside, and coach always told me you got to get in there and get the rebound. You got to play that ugly game. So that's why I got to give it to Reese, because I know this whole double double thing has been talked about as far as more like in a Russell Westbrook perspective, stat padding, et cetera, that she wouldn't have gotten those records if she wasn't doing that, or she had a better field goal percentage. But I played on the inside, and it's hard when you got 3-4 on you. I mean, that's got to be something, right? I mean,
I
does
mean, it
this?
is. It is. And my thing is though is listen, Clark. Everyone's discrediting Clark for her turnovers, and most of her turnovers are from her teammates that can't catch. Let's be honest here. I'm just being honest. I watched the game the other day, man, and it was bad to the point to where her teammates weren't even catching the ball, and it was just hitting her hands and going out of bounds. And that turnover is on Clark. It's not on the teammate. You know what I'm saying? So everybody that's talking about the turnover for Clark, it's just an inflated stat because her teammates are not helping her. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, here I bring up the stats that I talked about on Twitter the other day. I mean, 8 points the day that her double double ended, 8 points, 16 rebounds, 1 assist. But she shot 3 for 13. We're talking 23%. You know what I'm saying? Listen,
Mm-hmm.
what she's doing is numbers, by all means. I mean, I'm not discrediting her talent, but her field goal percentage, I feel like, needs to be up. I feel like she's just taking dumb shots and not really working on her actual game and just trying to compete with Clark. It's not about, yes, it is about competition, but it's about competition as a whole, as a team,
True.
and winning as a team, not because, oh, Clark is doing this, I want to do that. No, that's not how that works. You want to win, you got to win as a team, not as an I. You understand what I'm saying? So that's my biggest
Absolutely.
thing is, and I feel like Clark is doing more to help her team than Reese is. But also Reese has more help.
So just gonna throw a little bit at you. Again, we already just went over the double doubles. Caitlin Clark assists, turnovers, etc. Don Staley, head coach of the women's Gamecocks down there in South Carolina, says that the award should go to the player of the team that makes the playoffs. As of today, if the season ended, both teams are in it, with the Fever being the higher seed right now, if you would. I believe they're about a game ahead of the Chicago Sky. And both teams have beat some really big teams. I mean, we had Chicago Sky beat the Las Vegas Aces, who are sort of on again, off again. And Big Jeff said always beer gang, man. And we
Always.
had the Indiana Fever, who have beaten the New York Liberty. So again, big names, big teams that have gotten beat by these rookies and their squads. Does making the playoffs have a factor in it for you getting that MVP voting
Oh
for
yeah,
rookie of the year?
most definitely, most definitely. I think it should have an impact on getting that whether it's MVP, whether it's Rookie of the Year, whether it's Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, that goes back to NBA also. I mean, NBA I feel like should also be one of the teams MVP or Rookie of the Year that player should impact the team enough to take their team and put it on their back and take them over that hump. So yeah, I honestly think that does impact the Rookie of the Year or even MVP.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first. That's one hot take. Just before we move topics, we're gonna get a lot into Olympic basketball because I know we're hot and heavy about that right now. Last night, the WNBA's All Star game featured its WNBA All Stars, headed by Arike Ogwumike, versus our WNBA, I'm sorry, our women's national basketball team that's going to be represented in the Olympics. And Arika Ogwumike went off for 34, had 20 something hot mess points in the third quarter, and absolutely the team godsmacked our Team USA. So there's this talk going around about who should have and who shouldn't have been on the team. And the winners were led by the one person that removed herself from consideration for being on Team USA. Absolutely went carpet bomb, pop out and show y'all on Team USA. What do you think about that?
So I'm gonna go ahead and go ahead and kill the noise of I think Reese and Clark should have been on the USA team. I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there for now. Okay. The marketing for the WNBA is complete garbage. And what I mean by that is they're not promoting these games. They're putting times for games at 1:30 in the afternoon on a
Yeah,
Tuesday
yeah.
or a Wednesday. Like no everybody's at work at those times. Like no you want to bring in the best and you want to talk about games, you want to put it at times to where people can watch. Why do you think the NBA and the NFL, even baseball, has a lot of viewers? Because look at the time slots that they're putting those games. They're putting them, oh, you can go right now, Sunday's full of baseball right now.
Yep.
12
Yep.
o'clock, full of baseball.
All
So
day.
they're yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they're putting these games at certain times that people work and no one wants to watch them while they're at work. And people, what, lunch break 30 minutes for lunch break?
Mm-hmm.
What are they're not, there's no point of watching 30 minutes. So, anyways, so I'm sorry to get off topic there, but
No, but
I think Clark and Reese definitely should have been on that USA team. That would
mm,
have been a great headline. Oh, Clark and Reese, first time teammates on the USA basketball team. Like that would have brought so much revenue to that team and so much viewership to that team that people like me and you that love basketball, obviously we're going to be rooting for them. That's not what
right.
I'm talking about. But we're going to be, going above and beyond and supporting them and sharing stuff on X or Facebook or you know what I'm saying. So this way, other people can see it and they can, you know, find it and follow it also. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. For sure. It's interesting because there's always this discourse between pushing the brand, the image, and promoting the sport for women's basketball, and then there's the competition side. And I hear a lot about pushing and pushing and pushing and trying to get these rookies, this draft class into this Olympics because it's on a big enough stage in a good enough location. And these girls just played on the national stage with the women's national championship before they got drafted and everything. Um, but on the competitive side, I got two questions for you. I mean, we got Diana Taurasi, who's on her sixth Olympic team in a row. Because it was her and Sue Bird who were the torch bearers, and now it's just DT. And are the rookies competitive enough to be able to hang with and support the national competition for the women's team? Because we're gold or bust.
So I think so. I think they are able to handle the USA and bring USA a gold. It's going to be tough. It's definitely going to be tough. But I honestly think they'll definitely do it and they'll bring home the gold. And the men's, I think so too. But I
Yeah.
know that's for later. But I definitely think shout out to my boy Bayou Bengal for joining us. Um, it's definitely going to be tough, but I think the women's team can definitely do it. But it's going to be a lot of competition out there for them to do it.
Cool. Well, speaking of Olympic basketball, we had just witnessed U.S. survive against South Sudan in a hot one, 101 to 100, coming off of a solid win against Serbia, who is also in the U.S.'s Group C. Olympic basketball coming up. Questions abound. What in the world is happening to this team? We talked about it last week. Who's going to play where? We're going to get into some controversy about it. But let's dive into the U.S. men's basketball team.
I don't know, man. That game yesterday I watched. It's another thing. They're not even promoting the USA games.
No.
They're not even promoting the men's USA games. I mean,
Mm-mm.
whoever is running this Olympic is the same person running the WNBA because I haven't seen any
Same
marketing for
promoter.
either. But
Same guy.
that game yesterday was bad. It was bad. I mean, if it wasn't for the bench players coming in the second half
True.
and bringing them back, I don't think they would have won that game yesterday.
Okay, so fill me on this real quick. And then we're gonna get into some specific topics in a second, but this team is put together. It's like MacGyver together. I mean, we know that it was engineered by LeBron James. He was the first player announced for Team USA, period. But then you have Steph throw it up and throw it up for a prayer and hope that he jumps in. Curry, that's our main shooter for the team. Jason Tatum just got off of winning an NBA championship, and his participation and his ability to do what he does is kind of on again, off again. Some of these picks, they're like, okay, they're more pinnacle and appropriate aged players. But then you have someone like Joel Embiid, who's part of this squad, and I'm not sure if his game and his speed translates to what the USA needs to win. So I'm just trying to figure out if it won't be until after the first group game against Serbia where the U.S. finally figures it out, because their next game is tomorrow and it's against Germany, who had a tough time against France. But those guys they just came off of FIBA, won it last year, 2023, and they are in what I consider the death group. And we're gonna pop that on here in just a second of the group compilation, but I don't know. I can't trust this team because we also do bets here at the TSA Hoop Show, and when it comes to putting my money on Team USA, I'm just not confident in the strategy or the compilation of this team because it looks like it's just one bad quarter away from completely losing it all. Yeah, group play is starting right now, and you get 4 games to try to win your group, but that's never the question. It's getting out of there and finding out who you're going to end up having to play as far as the seeding goes. And you're going to have to go through at least either who we figure to be either France, it might be Germany or Canada, and all those are strong teams. So I don't know where am I putting my money now? Where are you putting your money now? What do you think?
Listen, Canada's got a very strong team. Canada's got a very strong team. I mean, they got Jamal Murray, they got RJ Barrett. I mean, they definitely have the team that could definitely fight for the gold. But my thing about Embiid, I'm gonna be honest with you, is I think he's at that stage to where he just wants to win a gold now. You know what I'm saying? Because if I was him, why not play for your hometown? You're from your home country. You're from France. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Why not
Yeah.
play with France? I mean, France has a younger team than the USA. Yeah, we do have young players, but they have they have. I mean, look at France's team compared to USA. I mean, they're all pretty much young, up and coming NBA stars.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So why not play with that team to where you can sit in the hole and they can just pass you the ball and you know all you gotta do is score. You don't
Yep.
have to do much.
Right.
The USA team, they run a fast pace. So if you're not moving, and you're not going to touch the ball. You're not going to see the ball. And if you're not getting back on defense, that's just going to hurt us.
Right. Well, I'm thinking. I'm looking at the composition. I'm thinking about the composition of France right now, and the majority of these guys have played for the played in France's France's EuroLeague team. So I'm thinking that because Embiid doesn't play EuroLeague, that he hasn't really committed to France anything, although that's his adoptive country of origin, I guess, if that makes sense, because I believe he's a French national, but he wasn't born in France. If I
Okay.
got that right, I think it might be I think it might be somewhere like West or South Africa or something like that, because
Okay.
they were talking about him playing for South Sudan, which would have been big. I mean, South Sudan lost Bol for the entirety of the Olympics, so hopefully everything with him is good. But yeah, I mean, Embiid could have played for any of the three. I hear you what you're saying. Where I feel like he might be chasing this win, it's because it's it's just interesting to see how he's aligned himself over the past 2 seasons, being seen and heard and playing alongside specific players, because we just had Embiid and Paul George sitting next to each other in the offseason or during the finals, right? And they were sitting up there talking all that stuff. And then Paul George ends up going over to Philly. We can make of that what you will. But I mean, is he on this team just to get in everyone's ear, like, hey, come to Philly, come help me win a ring?
I mean, that could be an option. I didn't even think about that option. Honestly, I really didn't think about that option. But that could be an option also. I mean, listen, as a Knicks fan, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't like it. I don't like Embiid. I really don't like Embiid. But that's besides the point.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah.
I mean, his game is good. Don't get me wrong. You
Mhm.
know, but right now, the last couple of years, he's been injured. You know, he's not at full strength. That's another thing. I'm surprised he even made the U.S. team with him and just having that surgery.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't know. I mean, after yesterday's performance, I don't think they win the gold. But obviously, I'm gonna root for them to win the gold. And I think LeBron, tells everyone, "Go screw yourself. I'm controlling this team. Me
Yeah,
and Steph, we're the
yeah,
old heads. We're gonna
yeah.
run this team."
A lot of
You
that.
know what I'm saying?
A lot of
So,
that.
and listen, I don't think that they're going to lose in the group stages. I honestly think they make it to the goal. It's just depending on if they want to compete together. I mean, if they want to play together or if they, want to play that one-on-one ISO. And if they play that one-on-one ISO, then you can go ahead and consider us not getting gold.
For sure. For sure. For sure.
So
For sure. Yeah. Big Jeff, we appreciate the support, bro. Yeah, we talking
appreciate you.
basketball. It's all good. We can educate all day. That's no problem for me. I mean, we get people on here. I just don't start talking about golf. That's my dad's sport. And I don't think he knows how to use the live. But we'll talk whatever you want here at the sports affiliation, and we bring in all types, man. Right now, we are talking Olympic basketball, and if you are just tuning in, or if you are watching this later, this is the TSA Hoop Show. I am your boy JR. We got my boy George on for today. He's here live and direct from work. He's doing 2 jobs. He's helping us out today here. You can follow him at Hot Takes 8904 and more Olympic basketball. Okay,
The grind
so
don't stop, my brother. The grind
grind
don't
don't
stop.
grind don't stop. You've seen the groups. you've seen you've seen some of the play so far. So we got Group A featuring Australia, Greece, Canada, Spain. Group B, France, Germany, Japan, Brazil. Brazil just qualified from the qualifiers, by the way, so shout out to them. Group C, Serbia, South Sudan, Puerto Rico, and us. So out of those groups, was it Group A or Group B? Looking like the group of
It's
death
one.
right now.
It's one team per group, right?
So let's not forget the format. So you got the winners of each group by points,
Okay.
and then you have the top scorer, I believe, the top scorer out of those three, which would go like the score differential, or it's either like the top one, and because you get I don't know if you get 4 teams. No, you get 8 teams. So
So
you
two out of each team. All right,
should
two out
be
of each
it
group.
should be 2 out of each at least. Let's just go
Okay.
ahead and double check this right now because
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now. Group A is the death group. I mean, you got Australia, always tough. You got Greece, always tough. Canada might be the best team besides USA in the whole Olympics. And then you have Spain. I mean, those four teams, whoever comes out of that, they're going to be beat up and destroyed before the actual tournament even starts.
Yeah, so as far as betting, it's going to be hard to place it on like one team that's coming out of that group. I
I,
mean,
I think Canada takes that group.
I was going to say that too. It's just so here's what I see. Canada's got great guard play. So you just mentioned RJ Barrett and SGA. We already know what they're going to do. But you got a defensive threat in Lugens Dort. The question isn't the back court, it's the front court. Because they got NBA bigs, but the biggest name out of them is Kelly Olynyk. And so we just talked about Embiid and how his speed doesn't really translate to the way that the team plays. These guys are fast. Their backcourt.
But the thing is, though, is with Canada, is they have enough power in the backcourt to draw that double team, to leave their bigs open, and their bigs to all they have to do is just dunk the ball. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel
I
you.
mean, you have Jamal Murray, SGA, and RJ Barrett. They can all spot shoot. So if you leave one of them open, they're going to kill you on the three. So if you throw them on a double team, you're going to leave someone open the whole time.
But then the question is like, because Greece still has the whole Antetokounmpo family playing for
All right,
them.
man. Stop. Okay. We're not doing that. We're definitely not doing that. All right. We're not doing that. If you want to talk Giannis, we'll talk Giannis, but we're not talking the other two. Please.
But that's the team. That's the team,
Oh
and
man.
there's even more pride right now because Giannis was responsible for knocking out Luka in the qualifiers. Okay, that's one thing. The second thing is that you also have the fact that it's gonna be bigs versus smalls, at least for that game for Greece versus Canada. We don't know 100% how that's gonna turn out. Again, because both teams have like every team has some sort of NBA player, NBA caliber type of player on it. I'm just wondering if Greece instead of Spain, because we know what Spain's going to bring. We know that they are always bringing in hoops players,
Mm-hmm.
but who's the bigger threat to Canada? Because if we're giving Canada this, like, yeah, y'all going to win this group, it's not going to be pretty.
No, it's going to be Greece. Greece is going to be the biggest threat to Canada.
Okay,
And I
then
mean, Giannis plays a big part in that also.
okay, okay,
So
I feel that I concur. It's nothing against Spain because Spain could
no,
just as
nothing against
easily
Spain
come
at
through
all.
and just.
Spain is a great team. Spain is a great team. They're always fast. They always play the fast break. They can
Mm-hmm,
get back on defense. I mean, listen, most of these players that play in the Olympics, okay, they play the FIBA ball. And FIBA ball is always fast, always
mm-hmm,
moving, always nonstop. You
mm-hmm.
know, the players that play in the NBA are lucky enough to have breaks in between shots or
All the
breaks in
whistles.
between all the whistles, the fouls. People don't care. They don't care. You get hit and it's not a whistle, you better
Keep it
get
rolling.
up and keep moving. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? There's no flopping on the floor crying because you
Nah,
thought you should have got a foul. None. There's
nah,
none of that. So
nah.
these boys that play in the FIBA league, they know what they need to do and how to do it to win a game. I mean,
It
look at yesterday's game, how USA almost lost. I mean, they literally
yeah.
won by 1 point, and they were
Hmm.
down. They were down 35 points at halftime.
It took a 16-0 run for them to close to get even in sniffing
Close,
distance for the fourth.
exactly. I
Um,
mean, these boys know what they're doing.
this Group B, I mean, we talked about Group A. Group B has got France, Germany, Japan, and Brazil. Now, I'm not dissing Japan because they got some killers too. We know what Rui's gonna do. We know that these guys, Japan loves to play fast, men's and women's. Period. Germany and France. You think they got any chance of losing this group at all?
No, I think those two make it on to the next round.
The Just to let you guys know, the first game between France and Germany was an exhibition game. France won that game by about 5, I think, or something like that. It had some headlines, and I don't know if it's gonna be like a Dennis Schroeder versus everyone or Schroeder and the Wagner twins versus everyone. But I'm thinking that Germany might use that game as a tune-up game and actually take it to France because right now they got Wemby playing like point center on France, and I'm not sure if that's going to work. The kid's a little bit of a turnover machine, and in FIBA ball, you can get hit a lot.
Oh yeah,
Like if I'm San Antonio, I'm like, yo, hey, go ahead and put my boy out at a 15-minute mark. Yeah, period. Yeah, no, I don't want him playing any more than that because we got a season. We just got CP3, and I need CP3 to be able to pass to somebody. We're not doing this again, okay? So, yeah, yeah. Salud. Okay.
give me 1 second, Joe.
Yeah, we good. We good. I just
Nigga,
when it comes to,
vodka, Bloody Mary, nigga.
I mean, the whole compilation of every one of these teams. Germany is still the most consistent. France now has more NBA players, more NBA talent because they got guys that either just got drafted or have had that year in the NBA. Japan has got NBA talent, but some of those guys don't start or are in a rotation. And then of course we got Brazil, who I'm personally voting. I'm personally rooting for because my wife's Brazilian, my daughter's Brazilian. So shout out to Brazil. Um, but definitely it's looking like France and Germany are the top two. And then you got
Yeah,
our group.
France and
Serbia.
Germany definitely win that group. I don't see the other two teams even competing with France and Germany. They have too many firepowers in that team.
Too much. Too much. Now, Serbia, South Sudan, Puerto Rico, and us. Outside of us, who's the next team in there? Because Joker's in
Isn't I was gonna say Serbia has who?
there.
Jokic
Jokic.
and
Jokic.
and
Jokic.
who?
Jokic and it doesn't matter because every single guard in there plays fast and physical. Every single one.
So
They could
I mean, listen, if USA plays like they played yesterday,
mm,
then they're not gonna make it.
mm, mm.
You want the honest truth.
Yeah.
Because South Sudan shouldn't even have been that close. But here's the biggest thing though. And I hate when people say, "Oh, USA has the most talent." Talent doesn't matter. And
Mm,
I'm going to tell you why it doesn't matter.
mm.
Because yesterday they looked like they didn't care because it was an expedition match. Okay. Now, will that change if, you know, when the actual group stage comes? It
Mm.
might change. But South Sudan looked like they wanted to win that game. They wanted
Yeah.
to put their country on the map and say, hey, we beat USA. Look at all the talent they have. They have LeBron. They have this. They have that. And
Mhm.
South Sudan wanted to put their name on the map and try to win that game yesterday against USA. And like I said, I don't care how much talent you have, it's all about the heart. It's all about how much you want to win. And
Facts.
USA did not look like they wanted to win yesterday.
Facts. It's funny you mentioned that word pride. Okay, two things. South Sudan was just recognized as a country less than, I think it's like 14. It was like 14 years ago. Okay, so we've been alive longer than South Sudan has been a country.
Mm-hmm.
Like that hits hard. You talk about pride, hot button word right there, right? So we got this conversation about how the world is catching up to American basketball, which kind of gets a little muddy there because I mean some of the world plays in the NBA. But when it comes to pride, do you think that here's what I think. Do you think that America takes basketball for granted?
Yes. And I'm going to tell you why. Most of these players that play out of this country, in the third world countries or in the second world countries, everyone else besides USA, okay, they've worked their whole lives to try to be on these Olympic teams or even in a league in their country. Okay. Yeah, I go outside my restaurant right here and there's a park right there, and I promise you there'll be boys playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
But they're playing for fun.
Mm-hmm.
When you go overseas, like I've been back home where my family's from, and they play soccer out there, and we're talking they're playing soccer from when they can able to walk until they're playing in a league. And we're
From the dirt,
talking,
yeah,
yeah, we're talking 1, 2 year olds playing soccer
yeah.
until they're able to play in a league. You know what I'm
Surprise.
saying? Some of these people that play in the USA or in the NBA, you know, they didn't play from 2 years old, 3 years old. They started playing in middle school and high school and ended up using their height to the advantage. Listen, you
Yeah.
have some talented NBA players. That's not what I'm saying. But
Mm-hmm.
some of these players, like me personally, and I've had this argument with multiple people. Okay, Jokic, even Luca. I mean, look at them. They're not in shape. They're not the best shape in the world. But guess what? There's some damn good basketball players. Some
Yeah.
damn good basketball players. And look where they're from. They're from a country
Slovenia,
that wants to put their name
Serbia,
on the map. You understand what I'm saying?
for sure.
So,
I and I and I it goes back to again, I would mention how shoddily this team was put together. I'm thinking to myself, like, track and field has qualifiers, right?
mm-hmm.
Wrestling, all the martial arts have qualifiers. You have our gymnastics team. You have to go to the national competition. You have to be in the top 5 in order to be on the team that's going to go to the Olympics. Okay,
Yep.
you don't just, hey yo, babe, hey, USA basketball just hit me up. Yeah, Grant just hit me up again. Yeah, you remember you met him at the barbecue last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he wants me to come play for the US team. Yeah, Steph coming too. Yeah, you cool? You cool? All right, tell the boys I love them. All right, peace. You can't do that in
And
any
that's
other
exactly how it was done. It's
country.
exactly how it was done.
And that blows my, oh, it makes me so it makes me upset because outside of the discourse about how about the stance of how players about these players and how they're viewed within this country, and I mean that's a whole other topic in conversation because there could be a little bit of that too, but to be part of an Olympic team to represent a country, it is all about pride. Yes, these medal winners, they go back, some of their countries, not all of them, but some of their countries pay them a stipend if they win a certain medal. Just to let you know, I think in the US it's either a mil or it's like 150,000, something like that. It's a good amount of money for what you put in.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. It shouldn't be about the money. It should be about winning gold for your country that you
Yes,
live in and play in. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, the money is great part
absolutely.
of it. Don't That's
Yeah,
not what I'm saying. But it's also a good thing to be a part of something that you represent a country. You understand
And
what
I
I'm
just
saying?
don't think, and I just don't think that, because what happens is a lot of these other participants, like say you have the top fencer in the world in the US, right? And they go to the Olympics and they win gold. They got to go back to their 9 to 5, wherever they're doing, and grind out their competitions for fencing continually. This USA team doesn't make the playoffs. They go back to the NBA.
Exactly. The other
They're not,
players playing in the other country, they have to go back to their normal lives and doing what they do, for their families.
exactly.
So
Like JJ Redick. Before I get into this is not about the Lakers yet. Okay, we're getting into the free agency in just a second. But JJ Redick had this statement about, back when Magic and Bird and Dr. J were playing, they were playing with what did he say? Um, he said they were playing with construction workers and
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I just don't know the actual quote because I don't want to
I,
misquote it.
yeah, but that is the compilation of a lot of these Olympic teams and people that play in the other leagues. Like they go back to a regular 9 to 5 job. And I'm starting to
Exactly.
think to myself, like, maybe that's what we need again. Maybe we need people that are hungry enough to be part of this league, because outside of the numbers getting ridiculous, but the national team is lacking its pride and effort. You can
Hmm.
see that in the first quarter of every game that's been played in exhibition games so far. There's a lack of urgency, the
I don't even
hunger.
think I don't even think it's that. What I think it's you have too many players on this team that normally run a team by themselves.
Also,
Okay, you
also
have
that.
LeBron. Who's going to question LeBron on the Lakers? Not a damn soul going to question LeBron on the Lakers.
I wish
You know what
somebody
I'm
would.
saying? Not even AD. You want the honest truth, okay?
Mm.
KD, he runs the Suns. I don't care what people say. That's not Booker's team. That's KD's team.
Oh, it hasn't been
Okay.
since. Nah, hasn't been for a while.
Um, Jason Tatum. Until Jaylen Brown proves himself that he can run a team by himself, that's still Jason Tatum's team. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I love Jaylen Brown. The only person on the Celtics I can root for, to
I
be
feel you.
honest with you.
I feel
But
you.
until he proves that he can run a team by himself and take his team and put it on his back,
Yep.
listen, what he did for the playoffs was phenomenal. But he still had Jason Tatum there dropping at least 16 points a game.
True.
You know what I'm
True.
saying? I mean, who else? You got Anthony Edwards. I mean, he had one of the best all-around teams going into the playoffs this past season. I
Also
mean,
true.
it's a lot. You have some of these players that normally play by themselves, and they're not used to playing with these other talented players. So it's gonna. I mean, this. I feel like we have this conversation every time the U.S. basketball team plays in the Olympics. Their
Yeah.
first 3-4 games look like garbage,
Mm-hmm.
and then they end up winning the gold. I mean, I think I only remember in my lifetime that they didn't win the gold once.
Yeah. I remember watching them Olympics too when they got smacked by Argentina,
Yeah.
and
And who did Argentina have besides Ginobili?
they had. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not that it was led by Ginobili, is that they also had this one guard on there. He played in the league for like 2 years, and I can't think of his name right now.
But that's what I'm saying though. That when they play in these countries, they're playing for their country and their livelihood. You understand what I'm saying? They're proving to the world that listen, I can be like that kid yesterday from South Sudan. The
Yeah.
commentator was like, "Oh, they need to look at him and get into him an NBA contract." That's what they do it for. That's
Yeah.
what they do it for. They
Mm-hmm.
don't do it for. They don't do it for their pride. They don't do it for the love. They do it to try to put their name or their country's name on the map and try to
Mm-hmm.
make something bigger out of it.
I feel you. The U.S. is the map right now. So
Exactly.
So I can see where it's like, oh, we made it already. We really have nothing to play for except
Well, that's the
for
thing, though. Like that kid yesterday, right? If he gets a call, say for instance from the Lakers, we'll just use
yep.
the Lakers because you're a
Okay.
Lakers fan, right? He
Mm-hmm.
gets a call. Listen, we want you to be our backup point guard to D'Lo or whoever or Reese. Okay, we want you to be our backup point guard to Reese. You know what I'm saying? We'll sign you for $5 million, 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
5 million a year. Prove yourself, and then after that we talk. You telling me he's not gonna be happy with that?
Oh yeah, I did my job. I did my
He
job.
got recognized. He got recognized. And that's what these boys in the other countries play for. And that's what they want to be known as is recognized.
What it do,
So,
Coach? Good morning. Coach
so,
jumped in here with us.
oh, good morning. So, if these boys, the USA team, are not playing with pride, then they're going to end up losing because when they get done with the Olympics, like you said, they're going to go back to the NBA next year and they're going to be perfectly fine.
And
They're
it's
gonna brush it off their shoulder and be like, "Listen, guys, we lost in the Olympics. It is what it is. We'll get them next time." But the biggest reason why this team is together is because what happened in the FIBA tournament with the Young Bucks. They got smashed. So all these old heads, LeBron's, KD, all these players said, "Let's go team up and let's go run this Olympics and show everyone how the USA team does."
yep, yeah. SoCal just put up a comment. If they just wanted to play defense and run simple motion with passing and cutting, yep, play on both sides, they will be fine. Yep, just like every other country does.
Mm-hmm.
Play hard defense, give you a little bit of zone, run some motion. Don't just play on one player. But then you have that last play where you have a pin down for Curry for a pop out for a pop shot that Curry loves to run every time for a good shot for Curry. Within the last 8 seconds, and LeBron sees that it gets blown up a little bit, kind of looks off Steph, and then decides to go one-on-one reverse layup. It's a lot of that for the first quarter, and that is exactly why we can't completely trust the compilation of this team because, like you said, Hot Take, it's a lot of 1v1. It's a
Well, that's the
lot of
thing.
stuff
That's
more.
then that's what I said at the beginning. It's a lot of 1v1 instead of playing against team. I mean, playing with their
Mm-hmm,
team. They're not playing with their team. They're not.
mm-hmm.
They're trying to play. Like I said, I mean, they're used to playing by themselves. They're used to carrying the team on their back. You know what I'm saying? With 17 seconds left, down by one yesterday, that ball should have been in 3, 4 different players' hands, and then given back to LeBron if he wanted to. But no, LeBron took it by himself, which I'm okay with. I'm not saying that what was wrong, but I'm saying though, if you want to play team ball, you want to win. You know what I'm saying? That ball should have touched 3 or 4 players' hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I hate to use my fandom a little bit here, okay? But if you look at the Knicks against Philadelphia, okay, when they played in that first series, with all the
Mm-hmm.
injuries that we had to that
Yep.
team, they were passing the ball. Every single person touched the ball before they decided to take a shot and move to a shot. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and
It
that's
that's a
what they
prime
need to
example.
do.
That's actually a very great example because, and I like that you mentioned that because when it comes down to it, I mean, you have to recognize that you should have the talent enough to be able to execute something like that. Like, here's what gets me twisted. Everyone talks about, oh, FIBA ball is different than NBA. The rules are different. The game is exactly the same.
Yeah, the game is the same.
So you should be able to, like SoCal is saying, alphas that need to drop the ego and just get back to basics that our junior high coaches teach us. And we all get taught the same game. We all get taught how to dribble a ball.
Exactly.
We all know how to cross over. We all know how to pass a ball. We know how to
Exactly.
look for an open man. They just don't do it that often enough. In
Completely right.
fact, the one thing that doesn't translate to FIBA is the fact that you have players on a stage in the NBA where they're almost required to have what they the bag. They're required to have a bag
Mm-hmm.
of 1v1 stuff. Oh, let's see how you could take 1v1, 1v2. Who's gonna stop Jalen Brunson on this team? Who's gonna stop Tyrese Halliburton on this team? Who's gonna stop? And it's like No, you didn't. At the end of the day, when the score reads 101 to 100, it's the USA beat South Sudan. LeBron didn't score all 100 of the points.
Nope.
You
Well,
know,
that's why it goes back to my comment earlier that I made. If it wasn't for the bench coming in at the second half and bringing
yeah,
them back into the game, they would have lost that game.
yeah, facts. Now we gotta move over here. Uh, yeah, I don't want to come back to this. We're going to be doing a lot more Olympic basketball here at TSA Hoops, man. So hopefully, Hot Take, we can get you back on.
Oh yeah, I'll be definitely down to come back on.
But we're going to move on. And we brought up two teams so far. And we got to talk about free agency because it is still alive in full effect. I mean, we got a team in the Cavs that just dropped yesterday, decided to re-up their rookie contract for Evan Mobley. Max deal could be worth up to 264, I believe. He went 4202 or 222 or something like that. So he just got that rookie extension, which is great. But you just brought up a team that's been doing some work in the offseason. You a Knicks fan, cuz.
Oh yeah.
And y'all been putting it in, man. Y'all
Listen,
just got
all I gotta say is OKC, they better enjoy
heart.
iHeart
Yes.
because if they don't enjoy him, they don't know how. Like, I mean, listen, when he left and he signed with OKC, he took a piece of New York with him because he showed in the playoffs and this past season that he has what it takes to be an elite center.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? His defense is not all there,
Mm-mm.
but when it comes to his offense and rebounding, he's gonna get it done.
The reason why the Lakers had talked about Hartenstein, not just because he. Okay, first of all, I gotta say that whenever the Lakers get talked about in free agency, it's always someone that's trending at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get into a little bit of that in a second. But but I believe that the main reason why Hartenstein was so coveted is because the ability to have someone play the 4 or the 5 at any given time, whether it's from the bench or starting, and to only have to focus on rebounding and defense is a rarity right now in the league. Big men like that are not a dime a dozen.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's guard and wing heavy right now.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone. And so even from this past draft, a lot of guards, a lot of smaller guys, a lot of wing guys that could play, but not a lot of guys that were at the 4. Or Wemby was the last center to be drafted for a while. And so a lot of those big guys, they're usually slow, they go undrafted, they're injury prone. So having a guy like iHeart, very coveted, especially for the Lakers who are looking for someone to basically take over the 5 position for AD, who just wants to play power forward. So you're right. OKC got a steal to be able to go in there and either start alongside Chet Holmgren or back up Chet Holmgren, who we noticed lacked a little bit of the size in a sense.
Well, they didn't pay him all that money to back up Chet. They're gonna put him. They're gonna put either Chet at the 4 and put Isaiah at the 5, or they're gonna put Isaiah at the 4 and put Chet at the 5.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they didn't pay him over $150 million to sit on the bench. I mean, and then going back to the Knicks, the biggest reason why the Knicks let him go was because they got the best. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there. The best two-way player wing system in the game right now with OG and Mikal Bridges.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that's absolutely ridiculous. And then all you have to worry about now is just being healthy.
Center. Well, yeah, that too. But I mean, center. I like Mitchell Robinson. He did great against Embiid in the playoffs when he was playing in the small time that he played. But his offense is not there. I mean, he's only a one-trick pony on offense. Alley-oop. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing he could do, and that's fine. Don't get me wrong.
Which is fine. Yeah,
but
we saw what happened on Dallas with his name was just on the tip of my tongue just a second ago. Who was working with off of Chicago, their power forward.
Oh,
Derek Lively.
yeah,
Yeah, you just
Lively.
saw the improvement that Lively just had over the course of a season from working with his coaches. I mean, all it takes is a good offseason and some work, and you find the right coaching, and there you go. And shout out to SoCal for the note, because all of us Lakers fans here at TSA have been just scratching our heads, wondering since when are we the silent team? Knicks doing the opposite of the Lakers
Well,
in free agency.
it's just like the Cowboys when Jerry Jones said we're going all in, didn't make a move in the free agency. So
Not once. While I do appreciate everyone getting their tune up. I mean, you got LeBron getting his tune up, you got AD getting his tune up, Rui getting his tune up. For the through Olympics,
I do have a
it's
question for you
go
before
ahead.
you get.
Good.
So let me ask you this:
Yeah,
if the Lakers didn't have LeBron, okay,
yeah.
do you think they would be a better team?
Mm,
Would there be more team ball?
there would have to be. There would unquestionably have to be more team ball because
Who would be the leader on that team?
the play would go through, it would look a little bit like the 99 98, well, more like 97 98 Lakers, 98 99 Lakers, because you got Shaq coming onto the team, and then that's his team, and then we got Kobe trying to figure it out. So it would have to be played through AD a lot, which we saw work a little bit for Orlando. It did work a little bit when AD was in New Orleans, but the problem is that the primary ball handler right now is D'Angelo Russell, which having the ball in his hands is cool, but he gets to be pressed against physical defenses. So then you don't know the improvement of, like, you don't know who the next guard is. That's why a guy like Gary Trent Jr. was there, looked at for trying to get the next guy. That's why Dame was talked about, because you needed someone to get AD the ball. So it's not so much that the offense, like LeBron is an offense outlet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe this team just ends up being like a Stan Van Gundy Orlando Magic team, and they just play 4 and out and just let AD then go to work afterwards. We would see.
Yeah, I like that. I like that comment from Coach Craig. Also depends on who you have with LeBron's money.
That is. They were shipping to the Lakers in a year or two. Talking about Spider, we talk about Spider Mitchell right now. Again, we just mentioned the Cavs re-up.
I mean, I
Out of
like
all,
Spider, but I mean, I just don't see them having the team to move on and make a impact in the playoffs. I
we
mean,
talked about it. We talked about it before the show started.
yeah. I
Do you,
mean,
all the moves that are being made right now? Like, I got 2 questions for you. What's your best? What do you think? Who made the best move so far, or what's the move that you like the most? And then, what's a team that, despite their moves or lack thereof, you don't see them moving the needle this season?
the best move, obviously, Mikal Bridges to the Knicks.
Okay.
Nah, honestly
All
though, I
them
mean
picks.
that was a little biased. But honestly though, the best move in the offseason though was OKC signing Isaiah, because that filled a role that they didn't have, and I think that pushes them over the hump to at least
Mhm.
get to the Western Conference Finals. You know what I'm saying? Like that pushes them, I think, automatically to at least the Western Finals and maybe to the NBA Finals. You know
Right.
what I'm
Well,
saying? Getting rid of what's his name? Was it Giddy?
Josh Giddey, yeah,
Yeah,
to
Josh Giddy.
Chicago.
Yeah, I think that was like a move, like, you're moving one shoe to the next rack.
Right.
I don't think that affects them enough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then Alex Caruso, I think, he does play a big role in playing that role player move. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that's big for him.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see them winning it all this year, but I can
Mm.
definitely see them being there. You
Okay.
understand what I'm saying? Because
Deep, deep run.
experience always plays a part.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Facts.
I mean, when they played against Dallas, Dallas obviously Kyrie has the most experience in that series.
True.
I mean, he's got a ring. He's been
Yep.
deep in the playoffs before.
Mm-hmm.
So the experience also plays a part. And I think that with the experience that OKC has now after last year and getting mollywopped by Dallas, um, that they'll be better this year coming up. And I think they do make at least a Western Conference Finals slash NBA Finals possible.
We'll see how that works out for them. I mean, now have Lou Gansdort and Alex Caruso, who are going to be a nightmare as a tag team defensive duo for OKC to help bolster the already improved defensive SGA for OKC. But we're going to get through Olympic basketball first. And that brings us to the end of this show today. I know that we want to continue and keep the conversation going. You guys can
Always.
always do that. You can follow us. You can check out the Discord. We're always posting that every day on X. You can follow us on X now. You can follow my boy Hot Take over here, who got the hot takes of the summer, boy. I'm telling you right now. That's why
2025 NBA champs Knicks.
Hot take, put it down. If you want to know to put your money where your mouth is, you want to find out the best hoops talk, you can always come here to TSA Hoop Show. We're here every Sunday. You follow us at the Sports Affiliation on X. You can go to thesportsaffiliation.com. Hot take, before we go, where can we find you? What are you up to next?
All right, so I'm on X at Hot Take City 904. I also just started a YouTube channel, same name, Hot Take City. Also, I'm doing an NFL space every Saturday at 12.
Okay.
Daughter's beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
Doing an NFL space every Saturday at 12. From now through the NBA, through the NFL season.
Okay.
Me and my co-host, Big Draft Energy. You can also
Yes, sir.
follow him.
Yep.
So that's about it.
All right. Well, appreciate you coming on the show. We're about to get out of here, y'all. Again, thank you for tuning into us this Sunday. Quinn says that hi, loves you all. You know that she always makes her special appearance. You guys take care. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. We out, baby. We out.